Okay, man, I want to talk about Deion Sanders, or Coach Prime. We all kind of knew. I mean, people that is in sports kind of pretty much knew that this wasn't going to be a season or whatever. Like that wasn't going to probably go his way. You're taking over a team that won one game last year in Colorado. He did bring a lot of his recruits with him, but man, he's playing Power Five football now. Man, it's not Jackson State. It's not high school football. It's Power Five football at the highest level. It kind of started with Oregon. The coach for Oregon, he was kind of right, man. Dion right now, man, they was playing for clicks. Everybody else out here playing for wins, but also, uh, man, also, Dion just didn't have the firepower that it was going to take, man, to survive against, some of these top thriving schools, man, that have millions and millions of dollars behind them. It's still kind of disappointing that he's 4-7. I didn't even know that they had a game last night, man. Like that's how much of a non-story that Coach Prime in Colorado is right now, man. He started off the year when he beat TCU. It did look promising, but at the end of the day, it's starting to fizzle out. And you just got to get the recruits, man. I mean, the difference between a Georgia State and Alabama is just the offensive defensive lines, man. You know what I'm saying? Nick Saban, the coach down at Florida State, Lincoln Riley at USC, Sarkeesian at Texas, man, these guys are getting the best of the best offensive linemen. They're getting role graders, man. They're getting those offensive linemen, man, that are projected as NFL starters in a few years, So they're getting the top of the top, man, and that's what Prime's going to have to do. Coach Prime is going to have to exclusively recruit offense and defensive line. I wouldn't even be trying to get those skill positions. I won't be looking at anybody else but offensive and defensive linemen going into next year, and it's going to give them a better chance. But and he should make a bowl game next year. Probably still going to lose about 4 or 5 games, which is cool. Until he really, really gets where he needs to be. You know, um, but also, man, Shador Sanders is making about 4 million in NIL, and if you're making about 4 million, man, you definitely shouldn't be 4-7. That's one thing I will say, right? You look at the top players in the game and USC. I mean, they'll at least still make a bowl game. Caleb Williams is the Heisman front runner. At the beginning of the year, he won the Heisman last year. So, they were in a national championship statement, but they lost about 3 games, so they're not. But yeah, but Coach Prime, man, I mean, he's right where he should be. I mean, to win 4 games, after a 3 game improvement, after having a turnover, 80% of the roster, I mean, it's still pretty phenomenal if you ask me. But and God's still with him. And also, man, he don't like losing, man. He's gonna be hell bent. He's not gonna go through another losing season. He's gonna be hell bent and do everything possible to make sure, man, that he flips around that win total next year. And instead of being 4-7, he'll be 7-4 about this point next year or whatever. But yeah, he's gonna lose games again next year or whatever because right now, man, when you're behind the Alabamas, the Florida States, the USC, the Texas, the Penn States, the Ohio States. I forgot about Ohio State and Coach Day. You're just behind these guys, and you're going to probably be behind them for a while. It's going to be hard to catch them. The alumni, the boosters, are putting hundreds of millions of dollars into these programs, man. And until he gets that same type of consistency, he's going to continue to, probably win 60, 65% of his games on average year in and year out.